It was the little film nobody believed in. Shot on a shoestring budget, dismissed by its own studio, and nearly buried before release. Yet it became a global phenomenon, turning Patrick Swayze and Jennifer Grey into icons. But behind the romance and the music, the story wasn't all sweet. Injuries, fights, lawsuits, and near disasters shaped the film you thought you knew. Tonight, we uncover 20 weird, shocking, and untold facts about Dirty Dancing. And stick around, because at the end, there's a bonus fact that will make you see the film in a completely different light. Fact 1. The film Nobody Wanted Dirty Dancing was rejected by nearly every major studio. Executives thought a low-budget romance about dancing at a Catskills resort would flop. One even called it a bad soft porn title. It took small distributor Vestron Pictures, then known mostly for cheap VHS releases, to take the gamble. The result? Their first-ever theatrical hit, one that would gross over $200 million worldwide. Fact 2. Patrick Swayze's real injury during rehearsal. Patrick Swayze badly injured his knee. Doctors told him to quit dancing, but he refused. He pushed through excruciating pain, hiding the limp from cameras. In the final lift scene, he gritted his teeth and danced through agony. His determination became part of Johnny Castle's raw intensity. Fact 3. Jennifer Grey and Swayze's tension. On screen, their chemistry was undeniable. Off-screen, it was fiery for another reason. They clashed constantly. Swayze found Grey unprofessional for laughing during takes. She thought he was too intense. Ironically, that tension only fueled their love-hate dynamic, giving the romance a sharper edge. Fact 4. The infamous lake scene. The iconic lake lift was pure misery. Shot in freezing October waters, both actors' lips turned blue. Grey later admitted her body went numb, while Swayze's knee injury nearly gave out mid-lift. The struggle you see on screen is real, and that's why the moment feels so electric. Fact 5.
Nobody puts baby in a corner.
Was almost cut today. It's one of cinema's most quoted lines, but producers originally hated it, calling it too cheesy. Patrick Swayze even disliked saying it. Director Emile Ardolino insisted it stay. Against all odds, the line became immortal, forever linked to the film's climax. Fact 6. Low budget, big sacrifices. With only $5 million to work with, corners were cut everywhere. Costumes were bought from thrift stores. Extras were unpaid locals. Even the Catskills resort was abandoned and crumbling, giving the movie its eerie off-season look. Yet the restrictions created authenticity money couldn't buy. Fact 7. Jennifer Grey's fear of the lift. The famous final lift almost never happened. Grey was terrified of being dropped. She refused to practice it, forcing Swayze to improvise with her during the actual take. What you see on screen is the first and only time they performed it perfectly. Fact 8. The soundtrack that saved the film producers initially wanted classic 60s hits, but licensing costs were too high. Instead, they gambled on original songs. One of them, I've Had the Time of My Life, won an Oscar, a Golden Globe, and a Grammy. The soundtrack went on to sell over 30 million copies worldwide. Fact 9. A lawsuit. Over the title before release, Vestron was hit with a lawsuit claiming Dirty Dancing sounded pornographic and would tarnish reputations. The case was thrown out, but controversy gave the film free publicity. Ironically, the title that almost sank it became one of the most marketable in movie history. Fact 10. Patrick Swayze almost quit tired of the constant on-set arguments and his worsening injury. Swayze considered walking away, but he stayed after reading the script again. He later admitted it was the best decision of his career. Dirty Dancing made him an international star. Fact 11. The resort was haunted. The film's main location, Mountain Lake Lodge in Virginia, was rumored to be haunted. Cast and crew reported flickering lights, sudden cold spots, and eerie noises in empty halls. Whether myth or not, the unsettling atmosphere added a strange layer to production. Fact 12. Jennifer Grey's transformation. Grey was nearly cut after her first audition. Producers thought she looked too old for Baby. But after she showed up with braided hair and no makeup, they reconsidered. Her youthful transformation convinced them she could play the innocent teenager, securing her the role of a lifetime. Fact 13. The famous crawl was improvised. In rehearsal, Grey collapsed into laughter during a sensual dance scene. Swayze, staying in character, slid across the floor toward her, turning the moment into a playful crawl. The director loved it so much, he kept it in. What began as a mistake became one of the film's most iconic shots. Fact 14. The abortion plot was controversial. The subplot involving Penny's illegal abortion almost derailed the project. Studios wanted it cut, fearing backlash. But writer Eleanor Bergstein fought fiercely to keep it, insisting it was essential to the story. Today, critics praise it as groundbreaking for its honesty. Fact 15. The Catskills decline. By the time filming began, the Catskills resorts that inspired the story were dying out. Many had closed their doors, unable to compete with cheap air travel. Dirty Dancing became both a time capsule and a farewell to an era of summer escapes. Fact 16. A test screening disaster. The first test screening was a nightmare. Audiences hated it. Executives predicted it would go straight to VHS and vanish. Instead, strong word of mouth turned it into a cultural phenomenon, proving the critics wrong. Fact 17. Patrick Swayze's book confession. Years later, in his memoir, Swayze admitted he and Grey never resolved their differences. He respected her talent, but the friction between them was real. Their uneasy partnership gave the movie a tension that still sparks on screen today. Fact 18. The real Baby writer Eleanor Bergstein based Baby on herself. She grew up in Brooklyn, spent summers at Catskills resorts, and was called Baby as a teen. The story wasn't just fiction, it was her own coming-of-age woven into the script. Fact 19. The surprise box office. No one expected success. Made for $5 million, the film went on to gross over $214 million worldwide. It became the first movie to sell more than 1 million VHS copies, cementing its place as a home video legend. Fact 20. The legacy of dance. The film didn't just inspire fans, it revived interest in partner dancing worldwide. Dance studios reported enrollment booms. Couples copied the lift at weddings. Decades later, the film's influence still ripples through pop culture, proving its power never faded. Bonus fact: the role that could have been Jennifer Grey wasn't the first choice for Baby. Producers originally wanted Sarah Jessica Parker or Winona Ryder. Patrick Swayze wasn't the first choice either. Val Kilmer turned down Johnny Castle. Imagine a world where Baby and Johnny were played by different stars. The film that became lightning in a bottle might never have existed. Dirty Dancing began as a forgotten low-budget project and transformed into one of the most beloved films of all time. Behind the romance and the music were injuries, arguments, lawsuits, and miracles. The story wasn't just about Baby learning to dance. It was about a scrappy little film that beat the odds, rewriting cinema history forever.